Reporting live from Hypers Club in Atlanta for Hype Plus News, I'm John Abba. Mass shootings in America unfortunately appears to have become more common these days. According to the Gun Violence Archive, mass shootings have trended up in the last few years, with at least 323 mass shootings taking place in 2025 so far. On Sunday, a man who has now been identified as Thomas Jacob Sanford would ram a truck through the front door of a church in Michigan, where he would begin shooting at churchgoers and would later start a fire, killing 4 according to reports. Sanford would eventually be killed by police. Now, this recent shooting comes at the heels of political commentary around the shooting of conservative speaker Charlie Kirk. Emotions from both sides will point the blame at each other while diving into the shooter's background. For this recent Michigan shooting, things are no different, as D.L. Hughley and many others are calling out MAGA and conservatives' response to the shooter appearing to have been a fellow Trump supporter and former Marine. Hughley would share several posts of him calling out the blatant hypocrisy. On one post he would write, "Let me guess, since he's one of y'all, he's a troubled soul, mentally ill," sprinkled with thoughts and prayers for the innocent victims. That caption would be accompanied by a video post.
Authorities have identified the suspect in the devastating attack on a Michigan church as Trump-loving veteran 40-year-old Thomas Jacob Sanford. Sanford, who served in the U.S. military from June 2004 to June 2008. In one image, Sanford poses alongside his wife and son, wearing a pro-Trump shirt with the message, "Make liberals cry again."
Now, in his comments, DL would strike up many other reactions that would agree with him. One will go on to say, "I wonder if all the MAGA people who cried for their beloved Charlie a week ago will cry for these people killed by one of their own." Another would write, "This white violence is getting out of hand." While another would say, "When the shooter is MAGA, suddenly the tone shifts. No more enemy, war, or destroy them rhetoric. It becomes calm, measured, and careful because accountability hits too close to home. Funny how fast the playbook changes when it's your own side pulling the trigger." Now, over on X, a user would also capture the issue some would have about the response around the shooting. MAGA was so ready to go full "there's a war on white Christians" until they realized yet again the shooter is a white Christian. Now, following the shooting, President Trump would take to his Truth Social page to respond. "I have been brief on the horrendous shooting that took place at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Michigan. The FBI was immediately on scene and will be leading the federal investigation and providing full support to the state and local officials. The suspect is dead, but there's still a lot to learn. This appears to be yet another targeted attack on Christians in the United States of America. The Trump administration will keep the public posted as we always do. In the meantime, pray for the victims and their families. This epidemic of violence in our country must end immediately." Now, one user would go on to call out Trump for inaccuracies of his message. He would go on to say, "Immediately after the Michigan church shooting, Trump implied the gunman was an anti-Christian leftist. But we now know the shooter was a white Iraq war veteran, wore a Make Liberals Cry Again shirt, set fire to a church, killed 3 people. This was no leftist attack. It was homegrown, radicalized from the right. Trump lied again." That post will go on to receive close to 8,000 reposts across X. Now, as mentioned, mass shootings unfortunately appear common these days, and Hughley would also express that same sentiment while sharing a meme that would read, "We may have a problem in our country when someone asks you, 'Did you see the news of this mass shooting?' and your response is, 'Which one?'" Hughley would go on to caption, "It is now ingrained into our brand. It's as much as part of Americana as apple pie and baseball and racism." As of this report, officials have yet to confirm 40-year-old Sanford's motive behind the shooting and his political views. However, the USA Today and others would find a picture of Sanford with his family wearing a MAGA shirt in a 2019 picture from Facebook. And now a picture of his house was taken by media outlet Free Press, and a Vote Trump Vance sign can be seen on the fence of the former Marine. Let's talk about it more in the comments below. Do you think there's a double standard to how this alleged MAGA shooter is being treated by conservatives compared to previous mass shooters? Save today for the latest news in comedy, culture, and sports by subscribing here to our YouTube channel and follow Hype Plus across all social media. Reporting live from Hypers Club in Atlanta for Hype Plus News, I'm John Abba.